What's happening, fellas? For this week's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 Pokemon I think got better between Series 2 and Regulation C. Because different rule set, different mons, some mons got better, some mons got worse. I'll be talking about which ones got worse in the next one. But because of the new mons, some different mons are enabled, so the first one is going to be Annihilate, and I think that Annihilate is super strong right now. I think Regulation C, is peak Annihilate. I think it's the best Annihilate has been so far, because the typing, the typing is super good into each of the Treasures of Ruin, and unless the Tinglu and the clicking the funny fisher button, there's not much they can do about it. This thing will bulk up, and he will Drain Punch you, and there is nothing you can do about it. There's also, in the case of Tinglu or Wo-Chien, if they decide to Terra Poison or Terra Fairy, you hit them with the funny Rage Fist. Because chances are, that's going to be big damage. It doesn't like Wo-Chien that much, but it's not held back so much that it's bad. It's really not bad. You could do, the funny mouse hold Annihilate thing, beat up. I've seen some people run Annihilate without mouse hold, because that's just how good it is right now. Annihilate without mouse hold has won a few online tournaments. It's bulky. It's living for quite a bit. Terra Fire is good into things like Chi-Yu Flutter Mane, Giga Drain from Wo-Chien, Pollen Puff from Wo-Chien, things like that. Terra Grass is pretty good into Wo-Chien, because then the only way it's getting damage off on you is through things like through Pollen Puff, which is then boosting your Rage Fist. And then, because you're a Grass type, it can't Leech Seed you either. So that's pretty big. Annihilate also benefits pretty well from Tinglu. Both of them are two really, insanely bulky things. I forgot to take you off. Yeah, just two insanely bulky things, and Tinglu just makes Annihilate even bulkier. It's insane, it's scary, and I don't like it. Which is why whenever I see an Annihilate, I'm clicking the funny fisher button at my first opportunity. Next is going to be Glimmora. Glimmora usage has quite frankly skyrocketed between Series 2 and Regulation C. And that's because of this thing. These two are a scarily good combo. It's Glim-Chien Stall, you got the Toxic Spikes from Toxic Debris. You've got the Leech Seed from Wo-Chien. You got the Pollen Puff keeping Glimmora healthy. You got the Spiky Shield whittling them down. It's just the main problem with these two together is that they lose hard to They lose hard to Moongus. Moongus can stop Leech Seed. It can get rid of Toxic Spikes. It's just the Moongus too good, and Moongus is very good right now, but it's not going to be on this list. I want to talk about cool things, but these two, it's stall, but not so bad that it's like Garganacl Dondozo stall. It's not the cringe type of stall. It's a fun type of stall, but just stally enough that it makes you want to rip your hair out. Glimmora also does well, despite the typing. It does well into Tinglu, because Tinglu relies on being able to stick around for a long time to click the funny fishes, or click the funny snarls. But if it switches in and gets poisoned, the amount of time it's able to stick around is very much decreased. You also go Terra Grass on this thing, and you do the funny Energy Ball. You can also Mortal Spin. You can also Power Gem. On an Assault Vest instead of Spiky Shield, I like to use Venoshock, because this thing can run Assault Vest as well. I also like to run Pasha Berry is another big one. But the thing that I like to run is Red Card. Red Card Glimmora is funny. I wouldn't use Red Card Glimmora on Glim-Chien stall, because that also takes away the Leech Seed. But if the Leech Seed isn't on there, go right ahead. It's completely fine. Glimmora also gets some other tools like, what's another one? Earth Power. It gets Earth Power. It gets D-Gleam. It gets... That's really all it needs. I've seen Stealth Rock before. So that's something. But... yeah, Glimmora, insanely good right now. Then it's gonna be Scizor. Scizor this gen so far hasn't been as good as it was in other gens, but now, because of Chiempao and because of Tinglu, this thing's very good. Those technician bullet punches, they're doing really well. Bug is actually a somewhat good type to be having right now because four of the best Pokemon in the format are dark types, and the dark types, they usually like to tear it into fairy types. So when you have like Pounce and Pounce to ruin them the first time, but then if they tear a fairy, you can just click the funny bullet punch. It's also got the funny swords dance. You know, this is the clear amulet set. But also, if you want to run either Assault Vest or Choice Band, you can run you run U-turn and you run close combat as well. Close combat is for things like steel types. But let me get the damage calculator up real quick. So Scizor, let's go Choice Band set. Let's go Chiempao. Yeah. Oh wait, that's close combat. Hang on. I thought that was bullet punch. Okay, yeah, that's still big damage. What about Dragonite? Choice Band set. Bullet punch, still massive oh wait, that's Dragapult. Dragonite. It's still a chance to 2-hit KO if there's a Chiempao on the field. That's a guaranteed 2-hit KO. It's strong. It's very strong, and because of how popular Priority is now, how good Priority is now, because things like Indeedee have fallen off, that means Scizor is a lot better and very good when combined with Chiempao. The Terra type, Fire is good for getting around Will-O-Wisp. Water is good because it's a good defensive typing. Steel is good for their extra beefy bullet punches. But yeah, I think I'm not seeing a lot of Scizor right now, but I definitely think it's going to rise in usage. Next is going to be Iron Valiant, and first of all, Iron Valiant heavily benefits from having a good matchup into all the ruins. There are a few items I can run. I've seen Assault Vest. I've seen Covert Cloak. I've seen Booster Energy. I saw Choice Specs at one point, but that's probably not very good. But there's quite a few things that Valiant can run, and it gets a lot of moves. It gets Moonblast, Aura Sphere. It gets Taunt for Wo Chien. It gets Quick Guard for things like Extreme Speed from Dragonite, Sucker Punch from Chiempao. It gets Close Combat. It gets Spirit Break. It gets Disable, Destiny Bond, Helping Hand, Icy Wind, Knockoff, Light Screen. Low Kick's a big one right now. Poison Jab, Screens. Hi, George. Never run Skill Swap. That's actually useless on it. Substitute is something. Thunder Wave, Wide Guard, Trick. It's super good. There's so many things that Valiant can do that's really good into what the meta is right now. So I think Valiant's definitely going to see quite a bit of usage. And then lastly, there's going to be Mimikyu. Mimikyu also benefits from the typing having a good matchup into all the ruins, but also Disguise helps it a ton. If we look at Mimikyu, we look at the Life Orb set. You know, Play Rough, Shadow Claw, Shadow Sneak Protect, or just you want Play Rough and a Ghost move. and then whatever else you want. But first of all, this thing has a 50% chance to Oko Dragonite, and keep in mind there's likely a Chimpao on the field, so big, that's big. There's also Chimpao itself. Guaranteed Oko into Chimpao. Disguise is big for it. Dragonite can't hit it with extreme speed. Chimpao has to... Shadow Sneak is basically necessary now on it. It's basically necessary on it now, I think. Because if you end up in a 1v1 with a Chimpao, you win. Because Chimpao always runs Focus Sash. So, you play off the Disguise, the Disguise goes down, then they're brought to Sash, and then you Shadow Sneak and you win. Mimikyu, it also has Trick Room to enable Ting-Lu. It has Curse to get rid of Ting-Lu. It gets rid of... Curse gets rid of Wo-Chien as well. It gets Taunt for Wo-Chien. It gets... What else does it get? Honestly, I think that's all it really needs. Yeah, I do think that's all it really needs. It gets Wisp. Mimikyu just really good right now because of the matchups into each of the ruins, because it can't hit Chi-Yu super effectively, but it doesn't need to, because that's what its allies are for. So that's going to be the 5 I talk about: Annihilate, Glamora, Scizor, Iron Valiant, Mimikyu. Thanks for 5, watch, bye.